Good afternoon and welcome to the MERI Space Club Daily Space Bulletin. As we continue to witness humanity's expanding footprints beyond Earth, MERI Space Club invites you to stay informed, stay curious and stay inspired. Artemis III rocket core stage pulled out, Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope is completed. Space investment hits a record high. Next up we have China preparing Shenzhou 23 mission. India announced Gaganyaan missions. Today is Saturday 25th April 2026. Before we begin, here's today's space thought. Look again at that dot. That's here. That's home. That's us. By Carl Sagan. Carl Sagan said this while reflecting on the famous pale blue dot photograph taken from the NASA spacecraft Voyager 1. In simple terms, from billions of miles away, Earth looked like a tiny pale dot in the vast darkness of space. Sagan used that image to remind humanity that all of human history, our love, wars, achievements and struggles exist on the tiny speck. He said it to make people realize two things: humility and unity. Humility because compared to the universe we are incredibly small. Unity because despite our differences, everyone we know shares that same tiny home. Let's talk about the today's space development in space. Artemis III rocket core stage pulled out. NASA rolled out the giant core stage of the Space Launch System for Artemis III, preparing for the next step towards human lunar landing operations planned for 2027. This mission will test docking and lunar landers from SpaceX and Blue Origin. Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope is completed. NASA completed its next major observatory, the Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope, planned for launch in late 2026. It is expected to map space for faster than Hubble Space Telescope and help study dark matter, dark energy and thousands of new exoplanets. Space investment hits a record high. Global investment in space companies reached a record $7.95 billion in Q1 of 2026. That is nearly double than the last quarter. A major reason is growing excitement around a possible SpaceX IPO and expansion in satellite infrastructure and private space stations. Next up we have China preparing Shenzhou 23 mission. China is preparing for Shenzhou 23 for launch to the Tiangong space station in April 2026. It will continue long-duration human spaceflight operations with one astronaut expected to remain in orbit for a full year. Last, we have India announced Gaganyaan missions. According to ISRO is progressing towards Gaganyaan, that is the India's first mission for a spaceflight program with the uncrewed Gaganyaan 1. The actual flight is expected in the major step of 2026. These are the current biggest developments that are shaping human spaceflight and deep space explorations. And as humanity reaches farther into the cosmos, one truth becomes clearer. Space is not just the future, it is the next chapter to our own existence. From the moon to Mars and beyond, we are no longer just looking at the stars, we are learning to live among them. And with that, we conclude today's Space Bulletin. This is Janya Batra signing off for the day.